Yeah, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Say Less podcast. Something new that we're trying to do on this podcast is to promote our local business. And the first local business we're about to promote is Mary Esther Island Boutique. A mother and a daughter dual sharing their love for jewelry. So gold-plated necklaces, Hawaiian-inspired bangles and earrings, accessories, Polynesian hair claws and sunglasses, and perfume oils and lotion, just to, help you look pretty for the summer. So go check them out. We'll put their ad down below. And yeah, we should be sweet. Again, we have a special guest for you this episode. But before we move on to that, let's go cue that music.
Let's go.
Hey, there's your intro.
Trash.
Sir. Hey, yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Say Less podcast. Talo for lava, malo lele, bolovinaka. And for the sake of our special guest here today, bonjour. Let's go. As you also Sefa here, chilling with your toko atu. We have a special guest for you. I would say hail from Kelston, but now adopted by another country. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Toulouse himself, Frenchman, Pita Ahki. Welcome, Musa.
Welcome, brother.
Oh man, it's good to have you here. It's a pleasure having you here. It's an honor. Thank you for giving up a little bit of your day off just to join us here and just to be with us.
100%.
No worries, anything for the boys then.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. What you been up to, bro? How's training?
So we've had a few weeks off and had our first week back last week. And it's been pretty tough. You can
straight
imagine.
into preseason.
Pretty much. Feels like preseason days. So, boys been grinding away. Got a win in the weekend, and
let's go.
Another hard game this weekend. So looking forward to it.
Nice, very good, man. And you guys are coming off a successful season, last one as well, yeah. So you guys are, the boys are
real successful. Last season it was a real good year. We won both competitions because we played both. 2 competitions here, so it was one of the highlights of my career so far.
Man. Well, first of all, congrats on the season. Good to see you, man. You're doing good, not only as an athlete, but even with you and your ainga as well. So again, it's an honor having you here. Also, let's get straight into it.
Let's go. Anyways, how's the weather over there, brother? All good?
The weather?
Yeah. Cold or?
It's cold as no
winter.
You're like this guy over here, eh? Me and bro. Yeah, man. Like what Sefa said, man. It's a pleasure to have you on, Peter. And man, we'll get into it. We're just gonna throw out the first question and get things rolling. Wanting to know about your upbringing, bro, and how things have been growing up. Obviously, playing a lot of young footy and then going to Kelston and whatnot. And I definitely know from talking to Matt and whatnot, you played a lot of sports growing up. So if you could touch on that, bro, it'll be a pleasure, mate.
Oh no, it was good. I guess you can have it at a lot of schools. The brotherhood we have at Kelston is real close. And I enjoyed my 5 years there. I had close bonds with a lot of boys from the school, and we still have that bond to this day. And everywhere I go, I don't know, like I kind of still rep the block, Kelly block.
Yeah.
100%.
In our team huddles before the game, I still throw up the K in the middle, and some of the boys, some of the boys back home, they see me throw the K up, and they're like, "Oh, so we're in Toulouse."
Yeah.
K never comes to
Yeah.
100.
No, it's my years at Kelston were
Mean. Was it always were you playing at ponies before going into high school, like playing all the pony grades coming up, or was there any other club that you were playing at?
So all throughout the junior grades, I was at ponies, and then, I think my junior years, what do you call it? Year 3 and year 4.
Yeah.
I played for Waitek.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You went into the dark siders.
They were pretty pumping back then, though. Like,
amazing facilities, though.
Waitek facilities, bro. Shout out to Waitek Rugby.
You know, when you're young, you just want to play rugby. And,
100%.
So I used to play for Kelston junior grades around 9 a.m., 10 a.m. And then used to go from there to play for Waitek around 2:30. So 2 games one day. So
true. Mean. And like just like obviously touching on that, is there some boys that you grew up with playing and ended up playing with at high school, and then sometimes maybe and obviously within provincial or maybe Super Rugby that today you still keep in touch with as well?
I think the one guy that I played with at school and pushed on together sort of at the Blues was Lolangi.
Man, that name has been ringing around for like almost
every podcast was always his name. Hey, it's always been brought up. Yeah, bro. And some stories as well, bro.
Stories about it, bro.
Make sure you get them on next thing.
Yeah, bro. Have tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we're on with them tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, man. Nah, that guy. Oh, true. Yeah, because I know that you guys played a bit of obviously high school together, and then played a bit of blues, and then ended up at obviously provincial and whatnot, and having him, like, I know that you're a bit older than him. Like, how was that, seeing his kind of development and the younger boys come out of Kelston, like, you know, develop as rugby players and also just as like individuals?
Yeah, it's quite good. Like, everyone's got their own path. Everyone's pathway is different, and just to see him go home and make the Hurricanes and what the Moana Pacifica now. It's just good to see like a lot of the brothers make it, you know. And rugby. The other guy that I actually did play with for a few years before I left New Zealand Rugby was Matt Vainga.
Matty V.
He's good, bro. He's just humble, hard worker. So it was good it's good to see him push on in Japan.
It's good, bro, because like I think for myself, and also I probably can speak on Sepha's behalf as well, like growing up and coming through Kelston Boys, like you guys were firing back then, you know, in 09, 2010, like and looking up to you guys. Just for our viewers, bro, and we'll put Daddy on the spot as well on this, bro. But like, can you tell our viewers how fun it is playing first 15 at Kelston Boys compared to obviously professional rugby now? But like, you know, we've spoken and said that like school rugby is probably the best rugby you'll ever play, you know. And do you agree, bro? Like, do you agree?
Oh, bro, most definitely. But I don't know. It's just it's special way. Like I was like, because not every player gets to play first 15.
100%.
You gotta cherish that jersey, and I was lucky enough to play 2-3 years first 15. And I think especially at Kelston, our culture was quite unique. But the one thing I wish I learned back then was discipline, and I think that covers a lot of things. Like you can train hard, obviously.
Yeah.
Because we trained hard at Kelston, but then, you know, having the discipline to not go over to the dairy or the bakery just
bro,
across
this
the road.
sausage roll and pizza bread.
Oh,
Let's
tough,
go.
we never had that kind of knowledge at
Yeah.
about nutrition or anything like that. So I think if I knew that back then, maybe who knows, I would have stayed in New Zealand rugby or done something different. But we'll never know. So.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, bro, because like from what I remember, bro, if you were to bring lunch to school, like in your own lunchbox, bro, you're considered as like a target, right? Like, yo, we're coming for you, bro, like for lunch during, because everyone just brought money, to be honest, and waited till school finished, or like if you're a seventh former to go out. But like, it's funny, man, because you'll have training on Mondays, and like you wouldn't eat your lunch during the day, and then you'll go and have a pizza bread and a pie, but you got training after that, so. I definitely agree, bro. Bro.
I remember 2010, the team, the first D team. I remember we went to take the sports photos, but our team weren't allowed to put on the jerseys because one of the boys stole the rugby jerseys. That was our team photos, bro. And we all sat there like, bro, he took the jersey, so we had to stand there in our school shirts. We're looking around like, yo, we did it.
I'm saying. Good times, bro. Good times.
That was great. Anyway, but so you went from, after high school, you went through your early days of, playing NZ schools, got involved in the Tonga 20s, even with Harbour, and even the transition, that transition from a high school player, you're thrown straight into like professional rugby, and we see it now, like with some of the first Dean games, it's almost like first Dean games are now professional games. They're considered as professional level. But for you, back in 2010 to the 9, the years that you were in, you're still considered as like almost like amateur rugby. And then now you're getting thrown, was transitioning into professional rugby. And then you get straight into that. How was that? Like, how did you have to adapt to that as an athlete and as a player?
Well, like back when I was still at school, I think the year after, that's when it started. Like, players that started breaking out started getting younger and younger because of the TV, like games on TV. Everyone's seeing all these boys, and for me, when I finished school, I was still considered as a kid, coming out of school. So we still had to take the path of playing club rugby and then pushing on to provincial rugby and then supers. And then when I was in Super Rugby and the games were on TV, you had the guys like Rico Ioane and Akira Ioane, all those boys, and they were getting contracted while still in school, So I was like, far out, these guys are getting contracts like straight out of still in school. And it's even getting younger now, like
because nowadays they recruit from junior rugby. Right? Like junior rugby.
It's starting to be like because in the football scene, the soccer scene and NFL, they recruit like
right,
like when they're as young as 5 or 6. Like they can tell who the next big name is going to be at that age, and they train them from there upwards. But I don't see that happening in New Zealand rugby, but it is getting younger. And for me, I think it can either go two ways. For the guys at school, they can, crumble under pressure because they're so young. They don't know the ins and outs of rugby or mental well-being. And or they can, you have the rugby stars like the two that I named, or David McKenzie, those kind of kids that just come out of school and jump straight into Super Rugby and All Blacks. So
Yeah, and this I think that plays a massive part, like what you shared about discipline. Back in the days we were in high school, there wasn't really that. We weren't really taught the discipline, and like we're grateful for people like Matt Howling now that he's in the school system in the Kelston boys. Shout out to Matt. He had a successful year at Kelston with the first of these
Matty.
Good job, Uzo. And hey, gotta throw the bro Willie in there. Willie, shout out to Willie.
Willie.
Yeah, shout out to those boys. But like, what do you think it would have changed a little bit if you were taught from a young age the discipline and the side of the sport?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Like I said, anyone can work hard or be a beast in the gym.
Yeah.
But then, like, you can go home and have Maccas for dinner, and then it'll just be a waste. So I think I learned that later on in my career, like for all the little things. So I don't call it sacrifices; I call it choices. So it's just little choices. So. Me being a young player, my first year at the Blues, during my wider training, like I'd work hard during the preseason, and then in the weekend I'll just get on the piss with the boys, so it'll just all be wasted. So it's just little choices like that. Little choices are going out to eat. What are you gonna have? You're gonna have a salad. You're gonna have a burger. What are you gonna take? It's just those 1%ers, and I think one guy that's big on discipline is TJ Perinaro. And if I could choose one guy that's disciplined to a T, is this fellow. He's disciplined. He's disciplined over motivation, because you can be motivated for a 2-week, 3-week period, and then after that your motivation's lost. But if you're disciplined to keep going and working on those 1%ers, like making the right choices, then you'll make a lot more improvements. So
that's fire, bro.
Did you feel any pressure, like being mainly the only one from Kelston that kind of broke into NZ schools and stuff? Like, did you feel any sort of pressure going into it? Like, man, I'm like the only one from one of the boys that are here. Or was it for you that transition be like, nah, I can take this on. It's all good.
Also, I didn't make NZ schools. Still hurts.
NZ schools, you're listening, you missed out big time. You missed out. The 20s?
Oh, 20s. Yeah. It was actually me and Junior.
That's right.
Oh, Junior Tofawa. That's
Junior
right.
Tofawa.
Hey.
It was up. Yeah.
Because you guys would have been like, oh, yo, sweet, we got this. So you guys were kind of, because you guys were always close, yeah?
Yeah. No, we were. But I don't know, like, sometimes, like, when I make teams, like, I'm like, bro, like, anyone can be here, or like,
100%.
Like, my dad always told me, like, oh, if you don't make this team, you can make this team. So that's the same for everyone else. Like, the guys that don't make the New Zealand 20s, they can make the All Blacks. That's like I said before, people take different pathways. If they didn't make the under 20s, man, like, you can work even harder and then make the biggest team, which is the All Blacks. So one guy I'll take for as an example, that didn't make my 20s team was James Lowe. Didn't make my 20s New Zealand 20s team, and now he's playing for Ireland.
Ireland, Oh, what a beast!
So, bro, he's. I think Jamison Gibson Park too. So
yeah.
He was my 20s. He didn't make it, so
true.
Just different pathways you can push on to bigger and better things.
And speaking on that, bro, like, you ended up in the sevens field, bro, and you represented New Zealand in the sevens. field. And how was that going into a different kind of dynamic of playing contact footy, like gone from a 15-man game to a sevens game? Were you always did you always think like you were capable of like going in there, or was the opportunity just there and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna take it?
No, I knew I was capable of it, but
Yeah.
I thought that I would play All Black Sevens because I was so focused on 15s.
Yeah.
So Titch hit me up, I think, after one of the tournaments back at home. I'm not too sure which one. He hit me up and asked if I was interested, and I said, yeah, I'm wider training in 2013, and I wasn't getting any game time because, you know, I had like a lot of big names in front of me at the Blues that time, and I was just a young gun, so I was like, yeah, I'll come play seven. So I went to camp, bro, hardest thing ever.
All right,
man. Just a long.
How was that experience, bro? Like, did anyone take you under their wing to kind of help you out during that journey, or were you just?
Bro, when you're in the seven squad, it's quite tight. Like,
There's a small group of you guys, yeah.
Yeah, it's a small group, so everyone's like helping you up and helping you chuck along. But honestly, when you make the sevens like squad, you're like, yes, but in the back of your head, you're like,
no,
no way.
A week of hell. So in the van on the way to Tauranga, like everyone's like quiet as because they know, like,
oh
man, I feel Langi. Like,
yeah,
he was part of that team when you were in, yeah. Langi?
He made it before me.
He made it before. Oh,
yeah, he made it before.
Oh, Lange.
Wow.
How many tournaments did you play, bro?
So I played, I think, 6 in the HSBC, and then I played the World Cup and only 30 seconds at the Commonwealth Games.
Oh, nice. So within those tournaments, bro, who would you say was probably your best roomie at the time?
Bro, Akira Iwane.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Were you guys doing Broncos back then, mate? Fastest Bronco time.
Probably who? His one or mine?
Oh, who was in the team, bro? Were you pretty up there?
I think, I don't know who it was, but I think it was about 4:24.
Ooh.
To be honest, I think that was DJ Forbes. That guy's a monster.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Were you comfortable going in knowing that DJ was an old boy, bro?
Yeah.
Like you knew you guys will link on a different level, bro?
Yeah, just stories from some of the old boys. Just saying, he's a GC, so
yeah.
But he was in when I went my first time.
Yeah.
And I took his place, but then when he came back, he was captain again, and bro, that guy's a beast, bro.
Yeah, man. Like one thing I'll probably want to ask you, Peter, is like, what's one thing that you've learned going on into the international level, bro? Like, what's one thing that you probably hold on to now, and you use nowadays, bro? Like, where maybe preparation, maybe little things. If you could touch up if there's anything there, mate.
I think it's preparation. Preparation massive in the international games I've played, which is sevens or I wouldn't say under 20s, Tonga.
Shocking!
It's our country.
That was a shambles.
Lucky.
Did you captain that, bro? I saw a photo of you like you were walking in like as a captain. Or were you like it's those ones, bro. Village games,
Those are your learning times,
Oh, bro. Those were those were
Yeah.
learnings. But, no, it's preparation for me. I think preparing during the week is massive. During training, if you know you've done your 1%ers at training, if you're working on your weaknesses at training, I think you're more prepared for the game or the weekend. So for me, prep is massive.
Nice, very good, man. Shout out to those DJ Falls, man. If you're watching this, please reply back to our message. We're trying to get a hold of you.
Surely, Peter can
anyway, going from
surely.
So you went from being in the sevens, and then you spent some time in the Canes and the Hurricanes as well, down Wellington. How was that? Before we move on to the Toulouse, how was your Hurricanes campaign?
Oh, bro, that was probably the toughest 2 years of my career.
Ooh, yeah,
as in injuries and then playing time. Yeah, that was tough. Like it kind of made me stronger mentally, but I was lucky enough to have my partner Kayla at the time, and my first year down there, we had our firstborn, Stella Rose.
Yeah.
So I was just lucky enough to have a few, how would you say that, factors just to pull me away from that little rut. Just a few injuries that kind of ruined my time at the Canes, I was lucky enough to get a few contracts at Waikato before I left to Ireland and Connor, and then and Toulouse now. So
that's
awesome, bro.
Before we go, because we're going to touch back on the injuries as well and stuff like that. And shout out to your partner Kayla. She just asked a question too on the poll. She said, "What's your missus like?" What a joker!
Oh, let's go.
Did she honestly say that?
Yeah, right here. What's your missus like? Oh man!
No, can't say that.
Oh, you want to edit that one out?
Got you good there.
Oh man!
No.
But after the few years in Canes, and then going to moving to where you are now in France with Toulouse. One of the biggest things, especially for young players, is obviously moving to another country. And when you move out of New Zealand, we think New Zealand is big until you move out of New Zealand and you're like, holy hecker, there's actually a life outside of New Zealand. And obviously there would have been a culture shock for you. Because is it true that when you're in France, like when you're playing there, you have to speak the language?
I think it'll be better if you can speak the language, but you don't have to. Like, you pick it up on the way. Like I've been here 3 years. This is my 4th season. I still don't know how to fluently speak French, but like I can get away on the field.
Yeah,
I can get away on the field. Like rugby terms, I'm sweet, but as soon as I walk into a restaurant or
all gear, no idea, eh?
Croissant.
They speak so fast there, and I'm like, parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? And they're like, sorry.
Yeah. Oh man, holy.
It's mean, bro. And like and obviously just touching up on the Canes, bro. Like Nonu was there, right?
He was at the Blues.
At the Blues at the time. The second fives that were there, did you learn a lot while being down there at the Canes?
Because the second fives and the centers that were there were all fighting for a spot. Nonu had left. So there was a real chance for one of us to pick it up. And the first year, my first year there, Willis Halaholo, I had a good preseason. Like, carved up, bro. Like,
shout out to Willis.
And the guy that was under him was Ngani Lamapi, and he carved up at the preseason games as well. And so they played the whole year, and the year after, Willis had signed to Cardiff. So he saw an opportunity to bank in over there, and Ngani Lamapi came, and bro, mean year with the Canes again. So I was in the outer. I injured my knee my second year, and got infected, and it went from a 6-week injury to a 5-month injury. So my time at the Canes, I knew was done. Before I started. So yeah, that's.
And just touching on your injuries, bro. Like I know you've there's a point in your career where you went from battling with injuries one after another. How did you deal with that in regards to like staying calm and also trying to keep yourself motivated while being in the rugby scene, you know, like waking up knowing that you're injured, but like what kept you motivated, what kept you going, and whatnot?
I think you'll hear this a lot with the mental well-being side of things, but you got to surround yourself with good people. And for me, it was my wife, my daughter at the time. I was lucky enough that my best mate, my cousin Matt, came back from England and surprised me with his wife in Wellington. So I was lucky enough, you know, to be in New Zealand that I could go back home to my family in Auckland. So yeah, I just surrounded myself with my family, my friends. I'm not a big talker. Like, I'm not one to talk, but I knew that I wasn't feeling well, so I reached out to my wife or my mum or dad. Those are the people that I try to talk to. My cousin Matt, like we talk all the time. So, yeah, I think that's key. Is just to surround yourself with good people when you're having times like that.
Man, that's awesome because we do see it nowadays. You know, a lot of athletes, not only rugby players, but you know, other players in different sports. You know, they're now speaking up. You know, about the mental health well-being, which is awesome, man. But in saying that, we do want to commend you for your bravery and your courage just to keep going after every injury back to back. Because you know, talking to even my brother, talking to Josh, you know, you were always that. You know, you were always quiet, even on the rugby field during the first 15 days. But when it came to like game day, it's like, okay, this guy's quiet, but like he's not that quiet when he runs. But we do want to commend you because I know there's a rich history in your family when it comes to sports. And for you kind of had that, man, you know, I have nephews that are looking up to me. I have cousins that are looking up to me. So I have to play my part. So yeah, big ups to you, bro. Big ups to you. And, you know, with the mental health, especially for our young players now and First 15, like going back to what we said, you're considered as a professional rugby player when you're in First 15. What's your advice for them? Because you already touched on, you know, having that tight circle, you know, having the right people around you. Is there anything else that you were add on to that, especially for our young guys?
It's funny you asked that because you know Sam Howling.
Sammy.
Sammy.
Welcome, Sammy.
So as him being my cousin, he came to me for some advice, you know, contracting wise or where he should go, this and that, ins and outs of Super Rugby training wise, like. But just on your subject, I told him like before the contracts came, during like during school, I just said, "Oh, bro, like, don't stress about it. Like, don't stress about contracts. Don't stress about any of that. Like, you're what, 17, 18. Just play your rugby. Play it as well as you can, and those things will take care of itself. Like, that's all you can do as a 17, 18-year-old schoolboy. Like, the cameras are on you, obviously, like for some of your games, but if you're playing well, the contracts and stuff will come. Like, and now he's contracted with
the Canes.
Yeah, the Canes.
Yeah, let's go. Congrats, Sam.
And I just said, well, everything comes down to performance. If you're performing well, the contracts will come. If you're not, then that's where, you know.
Yeah.
That's mean, bro. And obviously you touched on your tough journey with injuries and whatnot. Then you found yourself over in Toulouse, and obviously with Ireland, and obviously went over to France, and you've done some pretty good years there, man. Like highlights in that we've seen, bro. It's unreal. And then winning a few championships with them, bro. Like, how was that feeling, man? I think one photo that got me was when you pulled up the K sign with at one of the championships.
Bro, that's probably in Hennady's office right now.
That's old, bro.
There's an Anthony's Hennady's office right on my son.
In his bedroom.
Have twos,
bro.
That's my son.
But yeah, man, like bro. Seeing that photo, bro, was obviously bro. I felt some certain way in regards to being proud, bro. Like, putting K on the map over at a massive country, and then how was that feeling, bro? How was that experience of like going through so much adversity, and then like, bro, getting those fruits and winning a championship at the top 14, bro, one of the hardest leagues in the world, bro. How was that?
Well, it was amazing, Like, there's no words that can explain it, because I've been tipped a few times at Kelston. Not making the finals. We should have, And then at the Canes, we won in 2016, but like I felt like I wasn't really part of that team because I didn't play.
Yeah.
So to come over my first year at Toulouse and win a championship, I was like, bro, mean. And like I said before, like I'll always chuck up the K. So just to get a photo of it with the shield,
bro, that was mean.
Was even better. So.
It was funny, bro, because like I seen a photo you put up, and it was like 2019, and you guys, it was a photo of you in the shield, and then like it was almost like it was just yesterday, bro. And then the next year was like another one, bro, and I was like, oh, shucks,
running it back.
I was like, shucks, bro. Like, yeah, man. Like, I can tell by the emotions, and like, like we all know, like, photo speaks a lot of words, bro, and like just your emotions, bro, and how they kind of celebrate their final compared to Super Rugby over here and whatnot. But like, just seeing that pure emotion from you guys enjoying it over there. Also, just being in France, bro, like how was the culture of regards to like the rugby gameplay, bro? Like, did you have to adapt a lot from the different areas or different teams that you went and played at?
But I think it suits me, where they play. They try, especially here in Toulouse, like they like their 12 to just crash it up and try to win game line every time he carries, and like they obviously me, I like defending, so that's a big plus over here, bro. But far out, like the guys here, bro. Oh wow, they're massive.
Wow.
Sometimes you just wonder, eh?
How?
I'm like, bro, what?
Nah, then like you look at some of them, you go beefing.
Bro, I think that's what they say to you, bro. Like, bro, what is this guy eating, man? Like, he's so strong. There's like some highlights I've seen, bro. Like, you're unreal, bro. Like, not only you've got the speed, bro, you've got power, you've got skills. Like, bro, New Zealand, bro, you're missing out.
Like, you see the Fijians that play here.
Yeah, unreal.
Tackle that every weekend. I'm like,
Bro,
how long am I gonna last?
that's me, bro. And I've got a question for you, Peter. Like, I've always known you as the headgear guy, eh? Like growing up, watching you, like at high school, and what came about with the headgear, bro? Like, I've never, well, probably I've seen you some games where you've played without one, but like every game I've seen you or every photo, bro, you're always wearing a headgear. What made you kind of like, bro? Yeah, I just know you as the headgear guy, bro.
Bro, I've actually been asked this before, and I told him the same thing. But it started before I made first 15, my first year at first 15, because I used to play, you know, the old Mohawk mullets.
Yeah.
Straight,
straight in the hair.
But I used to love Sam Tutupo.
Yo.
He wore headgear, and like I just loved the way he played. You know, not the biggest guy on the field, but just put his body on the line.
Yo.
And I wanted to try emulate that. So
yeah,
I wore headgear for one of my games, and I felt like I was in the zone. Like, I don't know, it's just whenever I put it on, I'm like, yo, it's time to play. Like, and I try to be like Sam Tutupa, you know, just put body on the line, run it as hard as I can if I touch the ball, try and make big hits or just tackle. Bend well, and I think it stuck with me ever since. But when I first came over to Toulouse, or even at in Ireland, like I didn't play with it for a while, and then when I thought about it, I was like, bro, like time to bring the headgear back. Like I wore to one of my games, and all the boys at Toulouse were like, bro, you all good?
Yeah.
Like, I used to wear headgear back at school, and they're like, no. And then I had to show them a picture of playing at school, and they're like, oh yeah. And like all the first 15 boys like that I used to play against, like Francis Saeli or Fats Mako Fatiolofa, they're like, headgear puts.
Back.
I'm like, oh yo, I'm keeping it now. I'm keeping it now.
Oh, that's mean, bro. And also just touching on a few greats that you've played alongside with like with Jerome, JK, over at Toulouse. Was there anything that you've picked up from them that you're like far out? This is mean, you know, I gotta add it into my game, or like just seeing them in their element, bro, like observing how they do their preparation and whatnot. How was that kind of feeling being around those guys?
Yeah, because I played with Jerome and Charlie Fonwina at the Blues, and just being over here in Toulouse, the group of foreigners, they stick together, like they're real close. And bro, like I don't know if he would say the same, but I take a lot of similarities from Jerome, from JK. Like, bro, that guy's real quiet. Like real quiet. But when he gets on the field, man, he's
silent assassin.
Yeah, bro. He leads with his actions, and you'll see a lot of highlights from that guy. Like, but off the field, man, he's real chilled, coolest guy ever. And for Charlie, he's the same, but off the field, like that guy, he's he's switched on, like upstairs. Like he's a businessman. He probably owns about 10 houses back in New Zealand. So he's already thinking about life after rugby. You know, thinking about business here, and trying to invest in other things. So I'm trying to pick his brain or Jerome's, just to, you know, like what they're doing. I'm trying to emulate what they're doing. And
100%. I heard you got 20 dogs. I heard you got 20 houses over here.
Me?
Yeah.
Bro, I wish. Gotta get one dog.
Oh man,
I ain't got $1 million.
Surely, man. With those 2 championships, bro, surely.
Just sell the shields.
We just play for the jersey.
That is what I see. Yeah.
Shout out to Jerome Kaido, another guy that's seen our message but hasn't replied. Shout outs. Surely. The other.
He's from St. Kitts. So.
Thanks for reminding us, bro.
You might turn on, look at the jerseys. Yeah, now log off now. The other big news that's been lurking around right now is the eligibility rule. You know, within the players. Man,
there's a lot of questions, bro.
You know, we've been. I know for you guys, you know, the Pacific players, you guys have been waiting for this you know, this news. Man, how do you guys feel about the new rule change, like around camp, and, you know, even speaking to the brothers as well?
Yeah, no, I have to tell you guys now. Then I'm gonna go play for China.
Bro, the boys are gonna get you on that, bro.
Nah, bro. When the news came out, we were actually at our indoor playground with some of the boys. And one of them plays for Samoa. So he was happy. He was happy about it. Like, and obviously for the guys that have played for New Zealand Rugby or another team, they're excited about it. But I think they're just waiting on, like, just to see if it's I don't know, like legit. They want to see if things are organized or
fair enough,
stuff like that. So, but it's massive, man. Like, I can't wait to see what Tonga, Samoa, and Fiji are gonna do in the years to come. Like, this is gonna be amazing.
Man, I can't wait to see you strap up for China too, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Exciting times, bro. And saying that, bro. Wait, I am. What's it called? We're just getting through our last couple questions before we get into our quick fire. So, like, you know, from here on out, what's next for you, bro? You staying in France? Spend a couple of years there with the fams and the team?
Yeah, I still got a couple of years here.
Yeah.
In Toulouse. Fams are enjoying it. But with this COVID stuff, who knows? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Blues, eh? You're watching, man.
Mono Pacifica, man. Come on.
Oh, would you see yourself back here, brother? Like playing a bit of footy back in New Zealand?
I was actually contemplating coming back before I resigned last year, because you know, my partner was kind of struggling with COVID because everything was shut down, and we didn't have the luxury of having family here overseas. She couldn't just go to her mom and dad's house and just chat or get the girls, our two kids, to her for an hour or two just to chill. So it's full on for her here, like being a full-time mom. You know, it's quite tough. But I did contemplate coming back to New Zealand obviously trying to come back to the 09 to my hometown.
Let's go.
Let's go.
You know who knows, man?
Yeah,
Who knows, mate?
Who knows?
Who knows, mate?
Breaking news: Pita Ahki, center for China. That's gonna stick, man.
You blew it up, Bruce. You blew it up. But yeah, bro, that's mean, bro. And shout out to your beautiful partner, bro. She's had an awesome career, bro. And obviously from her background and her family as well. Shout out to them. But yeah, man, shout out to your partner, bro. Awesome mom, full-time mom, and shout out to all the full-time moms out there, you know, for that putting
Working
it
hard.
working hard for their husbands and families and whatnot. So shout out to them.
Getting into our last question before we go into Quickfire. If there was any advice you would give to a 16 or 18-year-old Peter, what would it be? If you just go like, yo, Doctor Strange that, and go back. Hey, look here, mate. The pizza bread and sausage roll is not working, mate.
Oh, the tank bread.
There's too much cream in there, mate.
Too much cream,
One
mate.
liter Starbucks drink. No, I think it'll just be what I said before. It'll be discipline.
Yeah.
Going out with the boys underage is not good.
Can you give us some names, mate? Give us some names on those boys, bro.
Surely the bars was in there. That's cool, bro. Discipline. That's key.
Awesome, bro.
Yes, sir.
Not chucking any names out there. Danny.
The ringleader.
He was our first question that came up, bro.
Whoa.
I love it.
Oh man, shoutouts. That's awesome. Oh well, bro, we're gonna move on to our quickfire questions. There's one question that we've asked all our guests that's right at the end, so we'll see what you're gonna say about that one. But your first quickfire question is, what's your number one pre-game track?
Icon.
Yeah, just Icon living. Solid. Let's go. Icon. Number two. Because you're there in the country that you are now, could you teach us one French word?
Good one.
Good one. Don't be hard, bro. You know the boys, but one French word.
I can't say that on camera.
Yeah, come on, man.
Bonjour's too simple.
Yeah. It's just simple, babe.
How are you?
Yeah, how are you? That one.
How are you?
Ça va bien.
Ça va bien.
Yeah, ngale. Yeah, ngale.
Also, it's French, bro.
Ça va bien, ba. Let's go.
Ça va bien.
Yeah, let's go.
Nice.
All right. You can tell we all in Kelston. All right. This is one of the questions that came in with the eligibility rule. Which country are you gonna play for? Samoa or Tonga?
China.
We're gonna stick with that one. We're gonna go China.
We'll take that, bro. We'll take that.
Too bad. China it is. Number 4, who would you?
I have to talk to my dad about that one.
Yeah, bro.
I think you already gave us the answer before because you dissed the Tonga 20s.
No.
What's up, bro? What's up, man? Come on, bro. Can't diss us. Nah, but shout out to the 20s team, bro.
Yeah,
come on, Peter, man. That was all hot, bro. That was all hot. That was an all hot team, bro. Just turn up and play, yeah. No training whatsoever.
We had a Samoan in the team too. So.
Oh, nah, that's why. That's why.
Shout out to Mona.
Yeah.
Oh, Mona.
Mona. Okay.
Next one. Number 4, who would you want to see on this podcast? Can't say Danny. He was the first episode.
I don't ever want to see that guy again. Anyone? Or
Anyone,
bro. The world's it's right there.
I'd the guy behind you.
Yo. But you gotta help us get him.
Yeah, bro. That's the catch, bro. You can help us get him. Yo, TJ.
TJ, man.
Have to.
I heard he's actually pretty good at basketball. Is that true?
Bro,
is he like a baller?
He's a baller.
Yo,
him
man.
and Julian Silvio.
Yeah.
Yo. Sorry, Sefa. Before that last question, bro, can we hit some some questions from the fans, bro?
I wanna this is our first one is gonna be Danny's one because his name's been lurking around in our episode.
Stupid question.
Yeah, bro. It is. Bro.
It is. I want to read it out for those. Would you rather play alongside him or your Toulouse halfback right now?
Hey, you gotta get him. Oh, that's a hard one, eh?
Sole, you'll be seeing this all the time.
In my life, bro, he's gonna tell you that.
You'll be seeing this.
Some bond dogs.
I'll probably go blind from looking at his hair. Nah.
Shout out to those, Danny.
Shout out to Danny Tusitala.
All right, let's go, bro. Let's go over to some of your family's one, bro.
Yeah, bro. Gotta hit
Maddie. You're Maddie. He said, who would win in a race out of you and Kayla? And your wifey.
Do you want me to answer that? Because
yeah, bro.
Answer to that, eh?
Yeah. We want to know, bro.
We want to know. Of course,
bro.
I'm still playing.
No, I don't know. Like she's cooked. Like,
yeah, bro. She is. Nice for that. We've got one from your brother, bro.
Yo.
From Kissy. Who does mom love most? Me or Pita?
Pita. I'm the favorite.
Yo.
All right, and I'll give you this this one from Matt again. If you went to the casino, who would be the two people you would go with?
Yeah, bro. He did the eyes emoji as well, bro.
He did the eyes emoji, bro. So I'm guessing there's a story behind that one.
Yeah, bro.
There's a little story behind this one.
Oh yeah.
Surely if
we got time. We got time.
You got time, bro.
Sure.
Yeah, bro.
All right. So one night we were drinking at Kayla's parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was me, Matt, and Mona. So obviously those are the three guys that go to the casino. Oh, two guys, sorry.
Mm.
And Akira Ioane was messaging me to come out, and I was like, oh boys, you guys keen? And Matt and Mona were like, yeah, sweet. So I was like, oh yo, but we couldn't go out, so I was like, oh babe, me and the boys are gonna go to the casino. And she's like, oh, casino, and I was like, yeah. So she's like, oh, okay, you guys can go. So we went to Ponsonby Road to meet up with Akira. But I got some cash out from the ATM on the way, and we went to what's that club called? That's
Little Easy. Oh, Little Easy.
Long room.
Little Easy.
That was it.
Little Easy. That's ponies. Sorry, bro.
We went there, had a few drinks with Ahki, and then we went to the casino after. Bro, you can imagine what happened when we got back. My mate Mona and Matt, they got into bed like on the floor, and my partner Kayla came, took off the blankets, like, where'd you guys go? And I was like, hey, no, we went to the casino. She's like, no, where did you go before? And I was like, oh, okay, no, we went to casino. Oh, she told Matt to get the F out of the house. So Matt and then went outside, and then she's like, hey, Peter, you can go too. And I was like, you're overreacting. We went to the casino. And she's like, no, what's a little easy? And I was like, oh.
Oh,
we got snapped. So I had to leave with the boys, but that's what
Man.
yeah. Here goes, ladies and gentlemen.
That is
Don't lie to your partner.
That's a Ian Ali story.
It's funny now, but back then,
Yes.
You're nearly sleeping outside, bro. So just some advice to all the listeners: don't lie, man. You'll find out some way, somehow.
Sucks. Our mate got injured on the field. Came back home, got injured again. What more do you want?
Every girl's a detective.
Oh, straight up.
Oh man. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you for looking after the dog.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, we'll wrap those questions up because now we know Maddie. Now we know a story to talk to you when we see you next time. Thanks, Maddie. You put this upon yourself. The last question from our quickfire is: who are the 5 people living or that have passed on that you would have around the table, dinner table, let's say tomorrow night? That have passed on, anyone that have passed on or that are still living today.
Yeah. We've had some pretty good ones, bro.
Yeah.
Danny's probably up there, bro. Danny's
pretty good. Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Probably just all famous people for Danny.
Yeah, bro. It's all money, fame.
His last one was Oprah.
Oprah.
Yep.
I think the first one I'd have is my grandpa.
Yo.
Yeah, my
100.
Yeah, he's my namesake. Second one, probably have to go famous. Probably Dwayne Johnson.
Yo.
DJ.
Uncle.
Yeah, my uncle. Third person. Michael Jordan.
Oh.
Fourth person.
Third. I think you're third.
That's a good one. That's a good. You say you got your grandpa. You got Michael Jordan. You got Dwayne Johnson. That's your fourth one now.
Oh, fourth one now.
Fourth, I'll have Kevin Hart.
Oh, that's a funny table, man.
Yeah, Kevin Hart. That's 4. So I got one more.
One more.
You got one more, bro. You can go celebrity crush, bro. It's all good.
Celebrity crush.
Surely.
Yeah, it's all right. At least your grandpa's on the table.
Your grandpa's on the table.
But I set him up.
Sorry, bro.
So that's 4. Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh. Ryan Reynolds. That's a good. So you had your grandpa, Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Ryan Reynolds. Who's the other one? That was it, yeah.
Did you say that?
What's that? Who was that one?
Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
nice. Also, well, that wraps up another episode of Say Less Podcast with the Uso Pita Ahki. Ladies and gentlemen, is your Uso Sefa, your Toko Atufi now wrapped up on another episode. Thank you so much, Toko. It's been a privilege and an honor to have you on. Thank you for the laughs and thank you for being real and sharing your story with us. All the best for the next season. Bring it back home, and we're looking forward to seeing that K go back up. Let's go.
Let's go.
You can see me when you see me. We gon' turn up in the city. It's just me and all my niggas, and you know me back them days. What's up? You know what it is. Hey, what's up? Hey. You can see me when you see me. We gon' turn up in the city. It's just me and all my niggas.